Hi there, my name's Lorne Riseley, reporting in for Two Beard Gaming. Huh. Weird, usually I get interrupted around this time by some audacious graphic.
Two Beard Gaming!
Like, share and subscribe, go on, you know you wanna.
Okay, on this week's edition of Riseley Reviews, I thought I'd take a look at a game that's kind of harkens back to the old school, Gun Crazy. It's a side-scrolling action shoot-'em-up game in the vein of a Mega Man type game. It's fun, it's pretty good, I like it. Couple of issues with it though.
Gun Crazy is a fast-paced and hectic arcade-style action shoot-'em-up sporting old-school pixel art and a retro soundtrack. Originally released on the 12th of November 2019, developed by Ritual Games and published by Grab the Games. Tackle bosses, dodge an onslaught of bullets, and use multiple weapons to take out your foes. Hope you brought your A-game, otherwise prepared to spam those continues. Currently priced on Steam at £3.99, it's also available on the Xbox One, PS4, Vita, and indeed Nintendo Switch.
So my biggest takeaway from this game is that it's old school in all the good ways, but in all the bad ways as well. Number one thing that you notice about this game, initially at least, is that the jump-in factor is just go, 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 go. There's not even a moment of brevity before you start shooting and punching and pile driving and jumping and launching and dashing and all the good stuff in a side-scrolling shooter game. However, you also get some of the bad, in the sense that I don't really know what I'm doing, I don't really know why I'm doing it, and in some of the more complex moments, it is overwhelming to the senses. The biggest criticism I would have of the game's presentation is the explosion of coins and points that goes everywhere. It just sort of bombards the screen with a sensory overload of information, which is fine in certain circumstances when it doesn't interfere with the gameplay, but when this exclamation point of a "you done good," which I like, by the way, I like when games promote and encourage you, overwhelms you to the point where you can't even see the enemies that you're shooting at to continue what is effectively a point shooter. You don't complete this game so much as you continue to play it over and over again for a high score. Again, arcade style. That's fine, but I need to be able to see what the hell I'm shooting at. And in this game, there were a number of different occasions where you'd kill something and it would just be a massive explosion. You go, I can't see what's going on. In fact, a buddy of mine who I gave this game to play just put it down after about 30 seconds because, dude, I can't see what's going on. I don't really understand what's going on, so now I'm out. Obviously, I have a temperament that kind of supersedes that. I like to see where a game is going before I pass judgment, but it's important to put that in perspective. With that main criticism out of the way, which is probably the only criticism I have for this game in terms of its overall presentation and its effect on gameplay, let's talk about the positives. I love the way this game looks, bright, colourful, vivid. I love the graphics, I love the presentation of the main character. I like how she's a fucking badass, just mercilessly moving forward. If you want to shoot, you just keep shooting, and if there's an enemy that comes in melee distance, you don't even need to worry about it. She's going to smash the hell out of it. I like the enemies as well, pretty diverse. The first level is a bit base, and the second level, the enemies are just blobs, but the creative way with which they're implemented and the way that they form patterns, the way they attack you, I like. Again, harkening back to the old school where it's about timing, about placement. It's not just about bulldozing your way through, because irrespective of the fact that you have multiple lives, 5 in any one given time, 5 hits, 3 lives, and you have continues as well, they're not infinite. Because it's an arcade game predicated on score, you can die, and then when you die, you gotta restart again. There's no save mechanic. So it is a case of, right, you have to preempt, you have to plan, you have to be a bit more strategic than just running and gunning. You have power-ups, you have bosses, you have mini-bosses, you have a wide array of different collectibles, and most importantly of all, you have a diverse array of backgrounds, and indeed, just generally a sense of progression. And that's what I think I like most about this game, is that there's never a dull moment. There's never a moment where you're taking a breath. As you move forward, the map moves with you, you can't move back. It's all about that forward progression, baby. And what I think I like the most is that the more I played it, the easier it became to grasp, which is true of a lot of games, I suppose. But with this one, you can notice a very noticeable improvement in your overall grasp of the game each time you're playing it. But the combat, slick, satisfying. The gunplay, good, responsive. Character, The only thing I would change about the character is the jumps. Jumps feel a bit numb and a bit short. The map seems a bit squashed. Like on a game like this, you want a bit more variety, and I think that would probably help. The points issue is just to make the map and the screen a bit wider. So if you want to have the exclamation points of the points coming out of the characters, then just have them go all over the screen, but not over the enemies that you're trying to target. And it would also make it look a bit more elaborate, a little bit more detailed, because that is another thing about this game, is that it doesn't have a tremendous level of detail compared to other retro style games that I see. Not that I'm saying that it looks bad, like I say, my earlier critique of this is that it looks really good. I like the vivid style, but it just has, it's kind of me doing the review up here. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? You feel like I'm in your lap. It's not conducive to a good experience for either one of us. Multiple modes, the 1cc mode, interesting. It has a tutorial of sorts, but ironically enough, it's quite easy to get stuck on the tutorial. So it will tell you what buttons it wants you to press. You press it, it'll move on to the next one. But then it says, press the menu button to end, but it doesn't tell you what the menu button is. Now you can guess, obviously, but it seems like a weird omission to make on a tutorial screen to say, here's all the buttons, now press the menu button. Which one is it? Tell me which one it is. But otherwise, this game is a solid side-scrolling shooter, harkening back to Mega Man without some of the platforming elements are missed. There's no grapple, there's no double jump. The dashing is there though, so there is a pace to the game once you get master it. There's no penalization for failure in so much as if you die outright, it's because you're not paying attention. The game is very generous with its lives and with its continues, so again, given enough practice, it is possible to go from one boss to the next boss to the next boss without worrying about killing everything on the screen. And that's the advice I'll give you. Don't try and kill everything on the screen. If you do, you're going to take unnecessary hits, which you're going to need for the bosses, because some of the bosses, first boss isn't too bad. You just need to stay out of the way of the big turret laser beam. Second boss, didn't like that one so much, just because I kept on getting hit while it goes around. It's like a snake, like on your phone, like a snake type boss. Wasn't a big fan of that one as much because the jump mechanic again isn't high enough, but I'm getting into the nitty gritty of it now. But otherwise, it's a good, solid game. Plenty of content because it's of the replay value of the arcade mode, a high score mode, and it's certainly, for anyone that is looking for a game that just completely just throws it up against it, just, rah, here it comes, it's coming at you, you gotta dodge, you gotta shoot. This is a game that you will really, really enjoy. And a decent price point, and again, a good entry point for this kind of game, for something that has a bit more delicacy and a bit more strategy in other side-scrolling games that I've come across that maybe require a bit more deftness of touch. This game is probably a good introduction to the genre if you've never played this type of game before, if you've only ever played more modern games. This is the kind of retro style game that's good to jump in for. But what do you guys think? Gun Crazy. I really enjoyed it. If I'm going to give it a rating out of 10, it takes points for a certain lack of content and again, a couple of silly little decisions, but overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I think it was pretty reasonable. I think it's reasonably priced, and I feel like it's a good game to get your feet wet in the genre. But what do you think? Gun Crazy. Leave me your thoughts in the comments section below. But in the meantime, though, thank you very much for watching this edition of Riseley Reviews. I've been your host, Lorne Riseley, reporting in for Two Beard Gaming. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and check out some of the other content creators on the channel who've been churning out some mad stuff, podcast reviews, let's plays, critiques, and obviously you've got the website as well. You guys are spoiled for choice, and you got me here as well, so feel free to go back and watch all of my videos and send me money. Or, so help me God, I'll continue to produce content free of charge for the rest of time. It's not much of a threat, but so help me God, I'll do it. Thank you very much for watching. I've been your host, Lorne Riseley. Take care, and I'll see you next week.